Hello, welcome to the Tim Booker channel. I hope you enjoy listening to books. Today, I'm going to delve into The Trip, Andy Warhol's plastic fantastic cross-country adventure, for you. Andy Warhol is a name that rings a bell for most. His influence on our lives remains pervasive to this day. Some credit him as the originator of the selfie, while his iconic portraits and artworks adorn everyday items like t-shirts and canvas bags. Born in 1928 during the Great Depression in the United States, Warhol, initially a poor boy, transformed himself in the 1960s into a pioneering painter, underground filmmaker, fashion icon, and highly successful art entrepreneur. He's hailed as the king of pop art and regarded as one of the most influential figures of the 20th century. In the heyday of American popular culture, Warhol was an undisputed emblem and symbol. His stature and impact remain unparalleled, making it challenging even today to find an artist who rivals his legacy. Warhol epitomizes an era and inaugurates one too. Now, the question arises, why Andy Warhol? Why does he epitomize the cultural spirit of that era? Was it due to his exceptional artistic talent and unparalleled creations? Or was it because of the workings and hype of capitalism? Perhaps it was just sheer luck. In other words, during that vibrant era of cultural liberation and abundant talent, what did Warhol do right to stand out amidst numerous artists and celebrities, becoming the focal point and even idol of the times? The book, The Trip, aims to unravel Warhol and his era through a road trip narrative, elucidating his life journey and explaining the intricacies of a cultural legend. The author of this book, Deborah Davis, is a screenplay writer, script analyst, biographer, and an ardent fan of Andy Warhol. As a fan, she avidly collected all things related to Warhol, and based on existing records, in September 2012, faithfully retraced Andy Warhol's cross-country road trip that began on September 24, 1963. Davis revisited the roads, buildings, restaurants, and hotels that Warhol and his entourage had encountered during that journey. This reenactment of the road trip forms the genesis and primary content of this book. Davis endeavors in this book to answer the earlier posed question, why could Andy Warhol rise to prominence, becoming the darling and symbol of an era? I believe that within Warhol's success, you might find reflections and inspirations. My interpretation is divided into 4 parts. Firstly, we'll explore pop art and the America of the pop art era. Secondly through fourthly, we'll analyze 3 aspects of why Warhol achieved success. According to the author, Warhol succeeded by doing 3 things right. First, though an artist, he embarked on a commercial journey, using money to safeguard his art. Second, he daringly transformed himself, excelling in creating uniqueness, gradually crafting himself into a distinct and enigmatic idol. Third, he actively engaged with the elite and smaller circles, boosting his artistic creation and sales. I'll elaborate on how Warhol accomplished these 3 aspects throughout the interpretation. Before delving into the secrets of Warhol's success, let's first understand pop art and the United States at that time. The term pop in pop art didn't originate from American culture but emerged from 1950s Britain. Art critics used it to describe a fresh artistic ambience in London, a playful, everyday, consumerist art form. Unlike traditional art, this was art that could be mass-produced, casually consumed, appealing to the youth, witty, even satirical. According to Warhol, pop art artists portrayed instantly recognizable contemporary items, including comics, celebrities, shower curtains, refrigerators, Coca-Cola bottles, picnic tables, and more, in a manner that traditional painters scorned. Warhol viewed pop art as siding with the common folk, depicting various goods and objects of life, praising daily life and the commercial world, countering the sophisticated tastes of elites and abstract art. Richard Hamilton's, Just What Is It That Makes Today's Homes So Different, So Appealing? 1956, Paper Collage, considered the first pop art piece, depicted household items and celebrity portraits, which became widely recognized overnight, although mainstream artists of that time considered it something that art creation should avoid. They couldn't tolerate the vulgarity of pop art tarnishing highbrow art. Despite resistance and attacks, pop art rapidly replaced the abstruse abstract expressionist art, gaining attention from the media, critics, and the masses, eventually becoming the mainstream style of American popular culture in the latter half of the 20th century. Warhol exclaimed, "Once you've got pop, you could never see a sign the same way again. And once you thought pop, you could never see America the same way again. So, what was different about America as seen by Warhol back then? During this trip, he and several friends who later became renowned poets, directors, and film stars drove from New York on the East Coast to Los Angeles on the West Coast via the famous Route 66. Along the way, they witnessed America's landscapes, listened to the hottest music of the time, stayed in glamorous, intoxicating resorts, dined at roadside restaurants amidst parked large trucks, and encountered people from the Midwest exuding old cowboy vibes. However, what fascinated Warhol the most were the massive billboards lining the roadsides, vivid, exaggerated neon signs omnipresent and ever-changing as they drove, turning American highways into an incessant shopping center display window. Being a shopaholic, he adored these billboards. He believed this was the new art, and America was a huge gallery full of billboards. The America of the 1960s was indeed a rosy era for many: sustained economic prosperity, rapid wealth accumulation, increased availability of consumer goods bringing more convenience, fostering a confident, optimistic atmosphere throughout society. Consumerism and celebrity culture flourished in big cities like New York and Los Angeles. However, concurrently, 1960s America concealed significant upheavals and crises. Overheated economy led to economic bubbles and excessive consumption across society. Imbalanced development exacerbated the wealth gap between different regions and classes. Coupled with the overly optimistic hedonistic mindset of Americans, all these factors sowed the seeds for the late 1960s economic downturn and societal upheavals. In the same year as Andy Warhol's road trip, President Kennedy was assassinated, shocking the world and shattering the American dream, altering the entire societal psyche. Simultaneously, the space race between superpowers escalated, feminism and civil rights movements surged, and a new generation in the cultural sphere began to scorn authority and rules, aspiring to break traditional order, voice their opinions, challenging established ideologies, aesthetics, and lifestyles. It was against this backdrop that pop art, rock music, and underground films thrived. It was this turbulent 60s that propelled Warhol to the pinnacle of artistic fame. Next, I'll detail how, during such a significant societal and cultural turning point, Warhol achieved such immense personal success through commerce, differentiation, and leveraging celebrity status. Let's delve into Warhol's approach to business in the second part. Despite being an artist, Warhol placed a high value on money. As early as the 1950s, during America's accelerating economy, he keenly recognized the intricate connection between commerce and art. Unlike traditional artists who viewed business as a contamination or threat to art, Warhol staunchly believed that doing good business is the most fascinating art. In fact, Warhol was more talented in commercial operations than in artistic creation. Aware of this, he skillfully leveraged his commercial acumen into a personal advantage. Warhol first gained media attention while studying art at college. During summer vacations, finding street vending too dull while helping his brother with a truckload of vegetables, he carried a sketchbook, swiftly drawing customers' faces and expressions while his brother negotiated prices. At summer's end, Warhol used these sketches in a local art competition, winning $40 and grabbing media attention, earning the title of merchant artist. His interview and photos made their debut in the newspapers, marking Warhol's first taste of fame, which he found quite satisfying. Upon graduating and commencing his professional art career, Warhol didn't venture into the circles of mainstream artists, creating serious, highbrow abstract expressionist paintings. Instead, he pursued a more populist, commercial route. Post-war America was recovering, people's desire and ability to shop surged. Department stores in major cities revived their past glory, and fashion magazines, capable of generating trends and driving consumption, wielded immense influence among urban female consumers. Seizing the opportunity, Warhol designed window displays for Pittsburgh and New York's major malls, contributed regularly as an illustrator for top fashion magazines like Harper's Bazaar, and even signed a contract with a shoe company, publishing illustrated ads under the Warhol signature in the prime sections of The New York Times. This illustration series not only earned Warhol considerable fame and a fan following but also substantial income. This enabled him to comfortably purchase expensive clothes, dine at upscale restaurants frequented by celebrities, buy the priciest tickets for the hottest shows, and indulge in luxurious impromptu trips. At that time, many young artists like Warhol, aspiring dreamers hustling in New York, distinctly separated money from art. They worked daytime jobs to survive and pursued pure artistic creation freely at night, struggling between various galleries to find entry into the art scene. However, Warhol didn't face such challenges. He wholeheartedly engaged in advertisement illustrations, earning money through painting and genuinely believing that this was genuine artistic creation. This belief allowed Warhol to live a materially dignified and prosperous life without struggling to choose between art and bread. Starting from a commercial standpoint, he secured and explored space for his artistic creation through successful operations and ample finances. He recognized the power of branding and understood how consumers and products connected through it. Thus, he repeatedly depicted and printed famous brand images in his art, such as Campbell's soup cans and Coca-Cola bottles. He didn't mind using terms like production and manufacturing to describe his artistic creation. He even referred to his studio as the factory. In his view, times had changed, and the traditional studio was outdated. Machinery was the means of today. He was eager to use mechanical means to produce art, providing art to a broader audience. Because, as he believed, art should be for everyone, which also encapsulated the core philosophy of pop art. However, while this philosophy brought Warhol commercial success, it also caused trouble. Many perceived art and commerce as opposites, considering artists earning from advertising paintings as a kind of degradation. Consequently, many serious artists initially looked down upon and distanced themselves from Warhol. Once, he invited a couple of artist friends to his home to view his art. The customary practice in such social settings was for both parties to buy each other's works as a polite gesture. However, after viewing Warhol's art, they felt extremely awkward yet resolutely decided not to buy anything. Another time, Warhol's shoe illustration was selected for an exhibition at the Museum of Modern Art in New York. Out of over 5,000 submissions, 150 works were chosen for this exhibition. Excitedly, Warhol volunteered to donate his painting to the museum as a permanent collection, only to face rejection. The museum explicitly added, "If convenient, please come to collect the painting." In May 1962, inspired by Campbell's soup can advertisements, Warhol created the highly acclaimed piece, Campbell's Soup Cans. He decided to paint the entire series of 32 flavors of this product, each using uniform dimensions, incorporating gold and silver metallic paint, rendering his paintings as realistic as actual cans. It was from these cans that Warhol became enamored with creating series. He not only painted numerous soup cans but also dollar bills, Coca-Cola bottles, stamps, etc., using the same patterns in different colors, mass-producing an entire series. These paintings were displayed row after row in galleries, looking as neatly eye-catching as supermarket shelves. Throughout the creation of these series, Warhol applied not the principles of fine art but the fundamentals of modern advertising, constantly repeating and reproducing similar images, believing that this repetition would eventually captivate and convince the masses. This time, Warhol succeeded because this repeated imagery resonated with the characteristics of America's consumerist economy, utilizing assembly line methods to mass-produce the same product. Consequently, Warhol's paintings, much like commercial products such as cars, houses, hamburgers, and chain supermarkets of that time, swiftly rose to prominence and eventually entered the sight of the media and general consumers, propelling him and pop art to become the hottest and most sought-after artists and art trends of the era. The third part covers Warhol's perspectives on art and commerce. Moving forward, let's discuss the second thing he did right, the courage to transform himself into a unique and mysterious idol. The Andy Warhol people often picture is seen wearing his iconic silver wig and black sunglasses, frequenting high-class places, surrounded by the hottest art and literary stars. He was reticent, seemingly enigmatic, but every time he spoke, it was full of golden quotes, such as, "In the future, everyone will be famous for 15 minutes," and "I never fall apart because I never fall together," leading people to describe him as cool, trendy, mysterious, and profound. However, few know the effort and transformation it took to create this enigmatic fashionable artist persona. Before fame, Warhol was an extremely shy and introverted boy, average-looking, appearing exceptionally pale and weak due to childhood illness. He had an insatiable love for sweets and an uncontrollable obsession with shopping and celebrity gossip. He was inept at socializing and far from the bold, avant-garde artist. It's said that when he first encountered a nude model in his school's painting class, he nearly fainted. Yet, Warhol also craved attention, desperately wanting to be noticed and become a celebrated star. These traits prompted him to constantly seek a unique, sophisticated way to present himself, whether in attire, speech, behavior, or artistic creation. He coined a phrase, "I'd like to be a machine in all the wrong places or a wrong machine in all the right places." This philosophy resonated throughout Andy Warhol's life. While working as a commercial artist for major fashion magazines, clothing companies, and department stores, he deliberately dressed shabbily to stand out from the elegantly dressed fashionistas around him. Despite earning a decent income, he eschewed suits, wore wrinkled trousers, and even intentionally painted expensive shoes with paint and cat urine until they looked worn out and tattered before wearing them out. Instead of carrying the typical artist's folio or bag, he carried a tattered brown supermarket bag. This peculiar attire puzzled clients, earning him the nickname, Sloppy Andy. However, this vagabond-like appearance made Warhol stand out in fashion circles, leaving a lasting impression on clients who remembered his name, leading to a stable client base. As Andy Warhol's illustration career flourished and his fan base grew, he increasingly desired entry into high society's social circles, aspiring to become stylish, attractive, and admired. Consequently, he began a comprehensive self-transformation process. This process was arduous and lengthy. He spent money on tailored suits, hit the gym, underwent treatments to minimize his large nose and pores, including extreme measures like using antifreeze and wire brushes on his skin. He became overly concerned about his weight. When he saw a photo of himself in Time magazine looking overweight, it greatly distressed him. Being addicted to sweets and meats, he resorted to popular weight loss pills of the time, which considerably stimulated his body and mind, even causing sleepless nights. After a road trip in 1963, Warhol ventured into filmmaking. Once again, he aimed for a complete transformation, aspiring to enter high society and become a fashionable icon. He ditched tailored suits for tight jeans, a black leather jacket, ultra-cool sunglasses, and attained an extremely slender physique. He altered his expressions, demeanor, and speech to match this new image. His eyes were always hidden behind sunglasses, his expression remained aloof, fingers often near his lips, signifying silence. When he did speak, it was in a more provocatively cryptic manner, using soft, short sentences or saying something profound and perplexing, like, "I do it because I want to be a machine." If there was a vestige of his past persona, it was his silver wig. This semi-permanent silver wig was one of the most mysterious aspects of Warhol. He had long suffered from baldness, nearly bald, and meticulously crafted his wig. Since achieving fame, no one, not even close friends, had seen him without his wig. Warhol's dramatic self-transformation ultimately made him a fashion icon of the 1960s in America, shining brightly in the literary world and mainstream media, becoming the most dazzling star among artists. It could be said that he crafted the image of artist Andy Warhol himself. In reflection, the author of this book couldn't help but remark that Warhol possessed a Midas touch, turning ordinary people into superstars because he himself underwent a similar self-transformation process. Next, Warhol, with his entirely new portrait series created after the 1970s, shattered traditional portrait concepts and techniques, injecting fresh elements into portraiture art. Using celebrities, socialites, megastars, world leaders, and himself as subjects, he combined painting and photography, creating a highly modern hybrid art form, his colorful portrait series. He took pictures with a Polaroid camera, meticulously trimmed facial and neck features, eliminating natural flaws and imperfections. Then, he converted the images into silkscreen prints, finally adding vibrant colors. Warhol's method of portrait creation had a profound impact, and even today, his masterpiece, Marilyn Monroe, remains one of the most famous pop art pieces. In the final part of the fourth section, let's briefly touch on Andy Warhol's third successful tactic, which involved actively cultivating relationships with celebrities and the elite, gaining entry into exclusive circles, and then leveraging marketing strategies to boost his visibility and promote his artistic works. Notably, despite Warhol's assertion that he aimed to make art more accessible, his paintings seldom depicted ordinary people. His target audience and desired connections were far from the general public. Apart from Marilyn Monroe, he painted rock star Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson, actresses Elizabeth Taylor, Ingrid Bergman, Queen Elizabeth, and the First Lady of the United States, among others. This list reflects Warhol's expressions, creations, interests, and desires revolving around social elites. His success was undeniably intertwined with the support and adulation he received from fashion magazines, business magnates, and Hollywood stars. For instance, during a road trip to Los Angeles, he had two objectives: organizing an art exhibition and attending a Hollywood celebrity-studded party. While the allure of exhibiting art in Los Angeles wasn't significant for him, gaining support from galleries and mingling with local art circles was crucial. However, the distance posed a significant hurdle, making him hesitate about accepting the exhibition invitation. Yet, the invitation to the celebrity party was irresistible. He almost instantly accepted it, willing to embark on a lengthy road trip for a mere few hours of partying, exhilarated by the prospect. In Los Angeles, his interest in photography and filmmaking sparked, leading him to dedicate more time and effort to underground film production upon his return to New York. He also established The Factory, a studio that propelled many film stars to fame. Warhol excelled not only in crafting fashion icons but also in creating trendy places or hotspots. While decorating The Factory, he covered walls with silver foil, even having toilet seat covers made in silver, transforming the entire place into a shimmering silver paradise, where he orchestrated numerous events that caused ripples in New York's art and fashion scenes. A significant uproar occurred in April 1964 when his patron couple, the Scarls, hosted a party at The Factory. The invitees comprised social elites and the most popular party darlings of New York, deliberately excluding Warhol's avant-garde artist friends. Moreover, stringent security prevented uninvited guests from entering the party. Consequently, this party, along with Warhol's The Factory, became the talk of the town. The following day, Warhol's phone was inundated with calls from infuriated friends demanding why they hadn't been invited. Consequently, The Factory became New York's most bustling and fashionable trend-setting location and hotspot, drawing artists, actors, rock stars, nouveau riche, various celebrities, and hangers-on eager to enter this social circle, with Andy Warhol at its epicenter. He attracted a substantial following of affluent and influential individuals, and his films and artwork became highly coveted. The pivotal year of 1963 marked a turning point in Andy Warhol's career. Before that, his paintings had little appeal and couldn't be donated, but after that, he became a prominent avant-garde artist representing the latest trends and directions in new art movements. His meteoric rise wasn't just luck, rather, it was grounded in his acute understanding and assessment of himself and the era, seizing the opportunity where business and art intertwined. He underwent an all-encompassing rebranding and resolutely pursued a somewhat brutal self-transformation plan. Simultaneously, Warhol's reliance on the social elite and cultural media helped him rise swiftly and efficiently, attaining wealth, fame, and status in a few short years, something his contemporaries in the art world couldn't fathom. Somewhat poignant is how the seemingly ethereal consumerist cultural landscape Warhol witnessed during this road trip dissipated rapidly. Soon after the trip, the United States accelerated its highway construction, gradually replacing old roads like Route 66 with highways. The towns along the highways became deserted, ghost towns, their buildings dilapidated, no longer attracting Americans. In 1965, the Highway Beautification Act was enacted, leading to the disappearance of the enormous billboards that once fascinated Warhol. To Warhol, these billboards represented a new art form, but to conservatives, they were the destruction of natural beauty and a symbol of civilization's decline. Within a few years, the once all-encompassing pop art landscape vanished from the daily lives of Americans, eventually becoming museum exhibits and private collectors' items. This pop art, once intimately close to ordinary people, swiftly departed from their lives, much like the economic prosperity of the early 1960s, fleeting in an instant. However, Andy Warhol's fame and status did not dissipate with time and changing eras. Instead, even today, his paintings, films, and golden quotes frequently appear in our view, and he is still hailed as the godfather of modern art and the American Picasso. That concludes the discussion on this book, The Trip, Andy Warhol's plastic fantastic cross-country adventure. Congratulations on finishing another book. Thank you all for your support and attention. Please subscribe to the Tim Booker channel, like, and share this valuable knowledge with your friends. Let's combine wisdom and practice to achieve our financial goals and create a better future. Thank you all, goodbye.